Hello there. This is Cindy at cindybdesigns.com. Thank you for joining me today. This is what we will be making, and the main emphasis here is going to be upon these mini shipping boxes that I've inserted some of our 3.5 by 5 note cards into with just some easy die cutting, ribbon, a stamp on the sentiment, and that's it. And I'm going to show you how to make that box out of our mini shipping boxes there. So I'm showing you like my sample now. I think the first one I did, all the measurements, everything like that will be over on the blog at cindybdesigns.com. Okay, yeah, those are my samples. And there will be a link to the blog post that corresponds with this video in the YouTube description. So go ahead and take a click on that and check out my blog and see what else I have going on over there. So these are just the cutest little trinkets and little gift box ever. I've been working with Playful Pets all week long, and this is a sweet collection. And what a sweet collection is when you have the stamps and the die cuts and paper and trinkets and ribbon and memories and more cards and just a whole entire suite that comes along with it. Bundles are normally the stamp set along with a set of dies or a punch. So the stamp set was Pampered Pets. This entire suite collection is called Playful Pets. And for our sentiment, we have Itty Bitty Greetings. And then I'm going to be taking a tag from the mini curvy keepsakes box that carried over from last Christmas season, along with that ribbon there on the right-hand side, the black ribbon that came over from the fall catalog. And the twine and the red ribbon came from part of the Playful Pet Suite collection. So I'm going to show you how to make this box right now, and you want to bring in your Simply Scored. And sometimes it's easier just to watch rather than listen to me talk about it. So that is our first step there. And you want to line up the top large flaps, top to bottom, left to right. And this is cardboard material. It is thick, and you're going to have to put a little bit of muscle behind it. And that's why I suggest using the Simply Scored just to get those creases in. So I'm giving what I need to right now a good crease. Some of it I continue to, score up. Other parts I don't. So on both sides, I'm going to call them like the left and right flap, you want to score 3/4 of an inch. And I'm stopping in the middle because it gets thicker there. And if you go off track, don't worry about it. It is hidden. And then I'm going to flip it over. And you can see where I tried coming up on the other direction. It didn't work. So I flip it over and put it in that way. And there's going to be part of the screen coming up. And I keep flipping it over on both sides to where if you look over towards the right, you can do both sides at the same time. That will be at 6 1/4. And you can also use your bone folder, which you'll see coming up, which does put a really nice crease in it as well. Yeah, 6 1/4 for the other side. And I thought I would try it, didn't work out. I'm okay with that. So you get to the flat part of it. You want to score that right at 2 inches and make sure the flap is opened up. And then again at 2 1/2. That is all the scoring that you have to do on this. Okay, yeah, here's my bone folder. And you can see the difference, but that's like a thinner part of the cardboard. It's just super thick like crumb cake. So I'm just going to fold everything up right now. And I am picking it up a little bit because this part is real simple to do. And so it's not really necessary to go ahead and give that middle part a bone fold or to score it, because you can see how easy it is to do it without having that score line you put in there from the scores that you put in on the edges. So you know that you can figure out which you want front and back from how you do the tab there, but to fold it, you have valley, mountain, valley. And you see me kind of struggle with it one side a little bit. But once I use my, they're called bull clips to, yeah, that's how it turned out. Then I'm going to give it one more nice score on both sides just to get everything down and kind of flatter for me so I can work with it. And that is what we're looking like. And I'm trying to figure out which side I want to be my front and which side that I want to be my back. And I think I ended up making that side my front. It doesn't matter because honestly it turned out really well this time, and this is the second time I've done it. So I put the bowl clip on top there just to help me out a little bit to keep it flat, and you want to put tear and tape right at the bottom of that flap there, or like below the line, and I'm going to pull that off, and you will see me tuck it up underneath there. But I had to pull the bowl clip off first just to give me a little bit more wiggle room to make sure that I got it in straight. And it's that easy to put that little gift box together. There's a little bit more room to where you can put in one of our cellophane bags and put beef jerky in it for puppy treats or whatever else you want. And so I determined that was going to be my back side. So I put the tear and tape right around that line there because I want to cover the seam in the front as well. And I'm grabbing our ribbon and figuring out how I want to get that done. And the back side will be where the tear and tape is, which again I'm pulling off, and I'm just going to adhere that ribbon to the very back there. Flip it over, and yeah, I got to kind of fix that notch there because it doesn't look pretty. And I'm just going to simply tie that into a knot to dress it up just a little bit. So I'm just getting that tied up into a knot on the left there, and then we will go ahead and move into our note cards. And there we are. It's really not that hard. It just looks like it, but it's not. So this time around, instead of stamping out our images, I am going to go ahead and die cut them out. So we have our note cards, which are 3.5 across by 5 inches down, and then I cut a piece of regular Whisper White to 3.25 by 4 3/4. And you can see how perfectly, and I just kind of lost my screen, sorry about that. You can see how perfectly the dies fit over our cat and our dog image there. And I was going to run them both through the same time, but it's like, yeah, that's a 6 by 6 going through, better do it twice, or run the cat through separately. And that's what we look like. The die cut lines around it are perfect, or the borders. And now we're taking the cat through, and that's how easy it is. It saves you from coloring. It just gives you more options to use our designer series paper and more coordination. That is what it's all about, which is fantastic. So I need to cut out our tags now, and I chose kind of like that teardrop tag this time around for both of our note cards. I'm going to die cut that out twice and punch a cat out. On my sample, I had a dog. This time I'm using our black glimmer paper and a little greeting from Itty Bitty Greetings for you. I'd used that on the other one, but I thought, okay, this is safe to do it this time. And I'm going to zoom in here real quick to show you how I kind of line up my top a little bit to keep it straight down, and that way when I lay down the second little tag, I can put it in the exact same spot and just make it easy on myself. So put down the stamp, picked it up from the Stamparatus lid, made sure it was even. I'm inking it up over on the right there and then stamped it down, and that is what we are looking like. So our designer series paper on the bottom, I just used the flip side of what I die cut our cat and dog out of, and you want that to measure 3.25 across by 2 inches. And I'm figuring out which way I want the striped lines, and I cut it wrong, so it didn't turn out at all, and you're going to see me mess with it a little bit, but I eventually get what I want out of that. And I should have cut this out, but it's like I didn't want to do any more frame changes, so I had to bring in the piece I was trying to preserve. Yeah, skip intro. So 3¼ by 2. Finally got it right. And there we go. So the next thing I'm going to do is pull in my Stamparatus. You know I use that tool for absolutely everything. I have some leftover snail, and I'm going to use all that up. And when I use my Stamparatus to line up cardstock, it turns out perfect. As you can see, I always try to make sure that I have like the L shape, you know, 2 solid sides in there, which I did have this time. So now I'm grabbing the little trinkets of a dog bone and a heart, and I'm going to figure out, okay, what card's going to get what little ribbon there. And I wanted to use the red on the cat with the twine on the dog because it was getting like too red if I'd used the ribbon, and I wanted to break it up a little bit. So I'm measuring out the twine, which I did, and I'm taking the red ribbon for the cat and just cut a length the exact same size, and I'm putting Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of both images, 2 for the cat, 4 for the dog. And you know how I always kind of press my pokey tool into Stampin' Dimensionals like that. It just helps the release paper come off. And if you think my voice is bad still, wait till next week's video, because I'm going to another concert tomorrow night. So yeah, what I did was I just grabbed some Scotch tape, and I do this a lot with ribbon. I got everything lined up on the front, and I'll use that tape on the back rather than adhesive. I alternate, but I knew that this time around I wanted to use the tape, get everything lined up on the left there, so that way my ends of the ribbon is easier to tie and do what I have to do. Although you will see me struggle with one of them because I didn't put the tag on a Stampin' Dimensional first, which you want to do once you get it on there. So this is one where, yeah, I definitely struggle. And I think I'm just going to let you watch me here for a minute, or maybe, I don't know, I'm sure I could find something else to talk about. So next week we are going to be working with The Beautiful World, and I'm trying to think of what the suite name is, but that one's a big one. It comes with memory and more cards. I kind of struggled with it a little bit, but then I got the hang of it and had a really good time and was able to die cut some pieces that I found unique to that suite collection. So it works out, and I think that you'll enjoy it. And I do have holiday catalog items here. I'm not going to get into that until 3rd week of September or so. So if you've been watching that, that's how I kind of struggled with it. And once I got the tag on there and placed the right way, I think I finally fixed it now. Yeah, you in the charm on top, you really want to put a Stampin' Dimensional underneath the tag just to keep that straight, so that way you can go ahead and get your bow tied. So I haven't sent out a newsletter for a couple weeks. I mean, not too much is going on, but bonus days. And I told you about that right before you started. Make sure you get signed up for July's Paper Pumpkin. And I need to send something out on that, because I'm doing this voiceover on Friday, and today's the 10th. I put 6 Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of our image panel there, and I'm taking one of our note cards that come in a package with coordinating envelopes to the perfect size, and I'm just going to lay that down top to bottom, left to right, center it up, peeling off the release paper, and that's our little kitty note card, and that's what they both look like. I kept them very, very simple because of the treat bag that we made. So I'm just going to be tying up our dog card and doing the exact same thing. And it looks like we have about 4 more minutes left on this. So the suite I was talking about next week is World of Good. And that comes with the stamps, the dies, the designer series papers to die for. Fantastic colors. Embossing folder that looks like crinkled paper and is fantastic. And okay, back to the card. As you can see, this one was much easier because I did put that Stampin' Dimensional underneath our little tag this time. But there's ribbon, faux suede ribbon to go with the world of good, and I really think that you're going to like it. And I'm doing the exact same thing this time around with the Stampin' Dimensionals. I put one in every corner and then like two in the middle, just so it doesn't sag or anything like that. So I hope that you're all doing great. You had a great 4th of July weekend. And yeah, I think once again, we're really getting to the home stretch now. So I'm peeling the back off of that. And I'm going to center that top to bottom, left to right, just like I did with the cat card. But if you need a holiday catalog or an annual catalog, please shoot me off an email and I will be sure to get you one if you are in the US. And that is what our dog cards look like. So I'm trying to get them all together here on the screen so you can see. Not quite working out for me. So I'm going to try and figure something else out. But all you do is grab the coordinating envelopes, pop them in the top there, and it just makes it the most cutest little simple gift ever to give to your friends with pets, because my friends are mainly my age. We're all empty nesters and our pet is our kid. So it's kind of a big deal. That is what we made today. I left the blanks or the inside empty so you can write whatever you want to do. And like I said, they are just the easiest little cards to make, and they're really, really adorable. Endless possibilities what you can do, especially with this DSP, and I love the stripes. And like I said, I just pop them in there. You can add like a little bag of treats for your pet. And I kept the outside of it pretty simple. You can stamp that up as well. You can punch out hearts from the dog punch and adhere them to the front. And again, there's just so much that you can do with all of this. So that is how simple and easy I kept it. And I really wanted to do something a little bit different this time around rather than a card. But if you have any questions about what I did today, as always, shoot me off an email. I'd be more than happy to respond and get back to you. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I invite you to head over to my blog at cindybdesigns.com. Please hit like and subscribe and sign up for my newsletter. I think I'm going to cut that down to like maybe the 10th, the 20th, and the 30th, because sometimes there's just not a lot to say and I don't want to, bomb your inbox or anything like that. So again, if you need anything, let me know. And there is my sample cards, the two in the middle that I made earlier and what we did today on the ends. So have a fantastic weekend. I hope that you join me next week. And until then, I will see you next week.